Hey everyone, to the Collect Jurassic. I'm here with something a little different today. Still checking out all this awesome Jurassic Park 30th anniversary merchandise. This is actually a set from Japan. These are the official Jurassic Park 30th anniversary Takara TOMY figures. There's a lot of Takara TOMY figures out there for Jurassic. They've done some awesome stuff for Jurassic World. I've just personally never collected it, but of course, when I saw this Jurassic Park 30th anniversary set, I had to jump on it. It's got some great figures inside that we're going to, of course, open up and take a look at. Again, Takara Takami, they're all articulated, all created exclusively for this 30th anniversary set, which is really cool. They all have the awesome paint decals from the movie and stuff. And of course, it comes in this awesome box that has all that Jurassic Park 30th anniversary merchandise. I love the Explorer icon with the Jurassic logo always. And of course, this Japanese caricature or character text is really, really cool looking too. Kind of adds a little specialness to it from a lot of the other JP30 packaging. Another couple things I want to note are that the fact that it has the JP30 mark on it too, which is super fun. Unfortunately, mine coming from Japan did get a little damaged, so this side is a little bit smashed up, which is too bad, but that's okay. It's still going to display fine. Here on the back, you can see they have the cool border set up. They have the figures all laid out and what kind of articulation they have. It says it's a new T-Rex, Dilophosaurus, and Velociraptor. So you basically get all the details and some more legal on the bottom. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. This side has already been opened because of that damage here, but the figures are still sealed here in the box with their plastic ties. Also, the box comes with this cool background that's, of course, we all recognize this, the famous sunset. And then I think it also comes with just a little information card. I don't know what any of this says, so I don't know exactly what it's for, but I'm guessing it's just some sort of product information. And then we'll go ahead and put this background back in the box. And put this off to the side. I do plan on keeping the box and probably hopefully getting them back in this plastic tray once we're done checking them out, so I can keep this awesome box on display. But let's go ahead and cut out we'll cut out T-Rex first here. It looks like there's just a couple little plastic snips to get after, and then we should be good to go. Looks like there's literally just 3 of them, so hopefully that gets in. This is my first Takara TOMY toy, so I don't really know what to expect. They've made a lot of Jurassic World ones, but this will definitely be my first time holding one in my hand and seeing sort of how all this articulation works. But this is the Jurassic Park T-Rex. Right out the bat, we can see it's got some cool articulation in the tail. It looks like it's a joint that goes up and down and maybe rotates. So you can do rotation as well as up and down, so you can give him a curve in his tail. But it doesn't rotate side to side unless you rotate the actual joint. Then you can do that. So there's a little bit of articulation there. Adds some sort of segmentation to the tail, but it's definitely a signature of these figures. You either love it or you hate it. Then the legs have articulation as well. They literally just go back and forth, so you can maybe, if you're good at balancing, give him a little bit of a walking pose. Or maybe if you set him up in a little diorama where you could lean him against something, that might work better too. But I'm probably not going to be able to get him to go on 1 foot, but I think on 2 feet he's going to stand reasonably well. Yeah, going to stand pretty reasonably well for sure. And then maybe you can even get him up and have him roaring with her roaring with the tail, or down as well. And it looks like, if you give it a little bit of attention, you can get this thing, basically posing pretty well on those 2 solid feet. But do have the option to do a running pose. It just would take a little bit of finessing to get it right. Over on the head here, we do have basic jaw articulation for a roar. And then that kind of brings us to the paint of this thing. Really crisp on the head. We have the teeth paint, nothing too sloppy or ill-applied. It's actually done really well. You can see the eye has a little pupil in it on both sides. Yellow with a black pupil. Looking really, really nice. And then the teeth and the gum and like some of the parts of the jaw are also got some really nice paint on there. So yeah, I'm kind of amazed by the detail on the eye. That's pretty impressive, what they've got in there. And then you can see the whole body has sort of darker colors moving down through it. down to the tail and striping. Would I call this a perfectly accurate Jurassic Park Rex paint deco? I don't know. I mean, that's a hard one to say. It's definitely a little lighter brown than I like the Rexy from Jurassic Park to look like, but definitely looks different and more Jurassic-like than their other Takara Tomy Jurassic World T-Rexes. This looks a little bit more Jurassic Park. So that covers, oh, it's got little nail paint and foot paint. It even has the little side claw painted too. So, I mean, they did hit all the major details there in addition to like a lighter underbelly. So you do get some nice paint on this when all is said and done. So that is the T-Rex. We'll go ahead and pop out the Velociraptor next. This one looks awesome. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. Same thing as the Rex. Looks like there's just a couple little plastic clips holding this guy in. Otherwise, it should just pop right out. And this is where you're going to see that these figures are not to scale with each other. They are all the same size. So that's kind of how you can approach this set is, they're all the same size figures, right? So it's going to be more or less the same exact size as the T-Rex. Maybe a little bit smaller, but not small in that you would say, oh yeah, that's the... that scales perfectly with the T-Rex, right? Doesn't quite do that, but let's see if I can get the Raptor here to stand up. More or less, I'm going to need to be able to lean it on its claws there. But you can see it also has the same segmented tail. It's a longer tail for sure, proportionate to the Raptor, but you can also kind of do like the up and downward bend, but the same exact functionality with the joints that go back and forth but can also rotate. Same kind of thing with the feet can run and walk. The arms themselves aren't articulated, which would be nice if they were articulated. Then you also have that articulated jaw right here too, and again, really nice detail on the face with the crisp eye and the teeth. It does look like mine's got a little bit of a paint rub above his eyebrow, but nothing too major. And probably was just done with this thing getting so smashed up in the mail, honestly. But the detail on the face looks really, really sharp. I hope you can see that on camera. It looks more like a Jurassic Raptor than a lot of the Mattel stuff does, honestly. But it does have the same coloration, really, as the Amber Collection and Hammond Collection Raptors. It's pretty muted browns with like some striping on the tail. They do have the claws all painted, which I appreciate. I mean, like the Rex, the teeth and the gums are painted, but overall, I think the highlight for me on this one is that it looks really nice sculpt wise for a Jurassic Park Raptor. I definitely look at that and say, oh, that's a Jurassic Park Raptor. So again, pretty cool approximation of another classic Jurassic Park species, right? Which brings us to what I'm hoping is going to be the highlight here, the Dilophosaurus, right? We all love Dilophosaurus after this dinosaur being sort of a very iconic part of the film, but never really showing up in any subsequent sequels. Finally showed up again in Jurassic World Dominion, and now we've gotten so much merchandise for Jurassic World Dominion for this 30th anniversary, and this is just the latest and greatest one too. So here we have the Dilophosaurus. It looks like it has a very simple tail articulation of just one joint that's going to rotate and go up and down. Also has the basic basic leg articulation that goes back and forth. I did notice there's no claw paint on this guy on his feet or his hands, but I'm guessing the paint budget went to this frill, right? And that's where the detail on this one is actually really coming out here. We have, of course, the movie accurate paint detail of the frill with sort of like the red striations and all that cool stuff. Then we have, the paint on the face with the eyes and the teeth. It's not a perfect rendition of the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus that has a little bit more, the white stripes. It almost is like a Mattel version, really. But it looks pretty accurate besides missing that sort of like white line and some of the detail on the crest. But it has a open and closing jaw where the teeth always show. But you can't miss that that's a Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus, of course, with the frill itself, but just the coloration too. What is really cool is that the frill is on ball joints. So you can kind of pop it back or pop it forward. I'm guessing, yeah, you can even pop it out if you want. If you want to have him have giant holes in his face. But he can be frillless too, which is kind of cool to see. The frillless design of this, whether that was the intention or not, you can certainly do that and just pop these fellas right back in where they go. Pretty easy. Just another solution for the Dilophosaur frill that we haven't seen before. Hopefully I got that on the right side there. I think I did. And yeah, that's pretty cool that you can kind of frill it back and fill it forward. I'd like to see Mattel do something maybe like that. That's like a posable frill, so you can get some mid opening shots. So definitely something unique to this particular version of Dilophosaurus. And then I'll go ahead and open his mouth too. So yeah, Dilophosaurus is definitely one of the more fun figures in this set, just for that wild color. But altogether, they look really cool. It's kind of funny how they're all different sizes. Dilophosaurus is almost bigger than T-Rex, and the Raptor is definitely smaller than those two in and of themselves. So kind of funny funny proportions amongst them all. But for me, I actually think the Raptor is going to be the highlight of this set. Oh, again, it just looks like a Jurassic Park Raptor through and through, really nicely. And you know, just a simple execution of it that looks very faithful to what's on screen. Followed up by the Dilophosaurus. I mean, that thing's really cool. I wish I had a little bit more detail, but for what it is, I mean, for what this set costs, obviously importing from Japan adds a little more, but if you were just to buy it straight up without shipping, it's actually pretty reasonably priced to get these three figures and the level of detail you're getting, and then articulation too. So definitely some interesting additions to the collection. Something a little different from Japan, of course, but definitely had to get it for that Jurassic Park 30 branding. It seems like I'm a sucker for that, any of that stuff this year, and this set's just sort of the latest example of me just going all in with JP30. But really cool stuff. Again, this is the Takara TOMY figures for Jurassic Park 30th anniversary. Really cool stuff. If you have it in you to import them, I would actually recommend them because they're a pretty unique set, and of course, it's Jurassic Park. You can't go wrong. But I think that's all I got for this little review. Again, I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.